Morning, everyone. So I said I would review the orc list, and so here I am doing it. Uh, yeah, let's just get into it. Somebody posted them on the forums, which makes it easier for me to go through just the orc list, and we'll start talking about them. As you know, I've been off orcs for a little bit now, but I did get I don't know, it was like 60 games of orcs in over a couple months. Played them in a lot of events. So yeah, let's see what people are bringing to the table. I know there are a couple good players, and I'll point out the list I like the most and stuff like that. So Argentina, let's see what we got. And actually, I think there's like 9 of 13 teams took orcs. They were the third most popular army, I believe, behind demons and warriors, which is both shocking and it's not shocking in that I think their power level doesn't make them deserve to be up there in popularity. More that I don't know. They didn't seem like they'd be third to me. I felt like maybe ID. Now, Vermin Swarms are weird because they have the new book and not everyone plays them. Yeah, I don't know. Orcs just didn't seem like the third one. But it's good to see, and we'll see what the list brings. So Shaman is a master. Yep. Double Huntsman Spider, Dusk Forged, Shieldbreaker Lance, Hero's Heart, Ghostly Guard. Interesting. The first one is the normal build, except instead of Hero's Heart, he took Shieldbreaker. The second one is I've run this where they were the weapons were switched because I just felt like the Shieldbreaker guy wasn't as important, didn't need to save. Cavern King, a Wolf Chariot guy, just a cheap chariot. Not sure why he has it. All right. Let's see what scoring we got. 32, 30 Maintenance Basher, 30 Goblins with 2 Madgets, 6 Trolls, 15, 14, 8. I'm not. I don't love this list personally. I would have loved to see Relentless Banner. I feel like the Force Goblins at 32 are just too small to be really effective. I mean, they're not a ton of points in 32. I guess you could go 7 wide and get all your attacks. I don't know. It feels like 14 Nashers doesn't seem like enough either. It just feels like he squeezed out an extra unit, and for what? Why does he have that? What's the Wolf Chariot guy for? Where's he put all his character? Where's he put his characters? I mean, the orcs. Okay, so where's the Goblin BSB going? And the Mage? Are they going in the Ed Bashers on the flanks? Are they going in the Cave Goblins as like a bunker and they're just supposed to sit back? Are they going in the? Yeah, I don't like this list. How about that? I don't get it. It's not like so. Let me rephrase this. When I say I don't like a list, I feel like people think that I think it's like awful. I think normally when I don't like a list, it just feels like I don't know what it's doing. And I'll be honest, I've watched a lot of orc players play since I played orcs for a long time, and I just think that there is I wouldn't say a conservatism in my mind, but a threshold for luck that I don't like. I'll say I'm aggressive and semi-risky player, but I'll give you examples. Like when I played the Spider King, I tried a lot to like put him in my BSB's range so that he would have rerollable Stubborn if he needed, and I didn't want to ever risk like an 8 unrerollable check. Blah blah blah. But a lot of people play him as if he's just alone on the flank without a BSB, and maybe that's fine. Maybe that's like if he's in a stronger position that way, then don't get the BSB. I don't know. It just sometimes I think orc players get away with doing random shit that seems super risky, but it doesn't. It only seems like it if you actually understand what could like screw you with leadership and stuff. And so this list, like he has a couple cool things I like. I like the double spider heroes. I like the Vanguard. His magic says pretty solid. Then you start thinking, like, where's the BSB going to go? Where are you putting him in this list that he's not at a risk? Where are you going to put that other mage? Are they all going in the Ed Bashers and your general as well? They don't seem to go well in the other 2 units. There's nowhere else to put him. He has a Gargantua that's pretty good. I mean, it just doesn't. I don't know. This list doesn't look. It has no shooting. Okay, that's the other thing. It has no shooting. It's an aggressive list that I don't know. It just doesn't look like he just looked like he took a bunch of units. So we're gonna just move past it because I don't like it. French list. All right. What did I do? This is a very common guy. Doesn't always have the troll elf flask, but can. I've also seen the Dragon Staff that I like a lot more than I thought. I think Dragon Staff in general might be an item people try to fit into their armies a little more now, especially with elves being prevalent because 2d6 strength 3. Listen, it doesn't kill a lot of elves, doesn't kill a lot of demons. It's not the end of the world. But for 30 points, you might snap off 2 or 3 black cloaks or roll lucky and kill more. And it might be what you need to like panic them or just reduce the shot. So I don't hate it. Anyway, I took this guy and I didn't love him because I think I just ended up facing a bunch of div and shit and it just was awful. But in playing against him and seeing people play against him, he causes a lot of issues for his points and what he can put out. A Thumb Master, an Adept Shamanism. Okay, you don't see that too often, that combo. You can usually see the other way. Crown of the Cavern King. The Nets Relentless unit, I've talked about that. I've played it before. He has a Bunker, a Raider unit, 6 Boars, Feral. I guess he wants another scoring. 23 Iron Orcs, Chariot, Idle. So 3 monsters, 3 chariots, 4 scoring. A Thom Wizard, but also a Shamanism guy who's a general. I don't hate this list. I don't hate it. He doesn't have the Spider Hero, the little one, which is probably fine. All those Orc chariots could be splatters, depending on the type of list you're going to run. He doesn't really have enough other than the Thom Master to really make people run at him. I mean, Mad gets a pretty good aggressively. I don't. It's cute. It'll if in good pairings it could work. I mean, Fanatics are scary, Chariots are scary. The Bakes and better versus some elves. I don't know why it feels like it's missing something, and I don't know what it is, and I don't know if it's actually true. I guess I don't really love the Crown of the Cavern King. It's without the little hero. I don't really. I guess your 18-inch BSB is something. I don't know. It's not bad. I mean, it's similar to things I've run in the past too. So, maybe my mind is just I don't know anymore about orcs. I don't know what I like anymore. I don't even know what orc list I would run if I had to. Okay. Again, the hero he should have MR probably on him. It's just nice. Okay. So he does Adept Pyromancy with Book. He takes Zappa-Bow. Oh, shit. Cave Goblin unit, yep. 20 Bow Creepers. I actually like that Bunker. Because... it's funny, because if you made his Goblin Forest, which I'm not sure how many points it is for a chief, he actually would have poison shots. 3 splatters, 8 trolls, 8 trolls. I mean, this is, to me, a defensive list. Common Orcs paired weapons. So he has almost 2 bunkers. What's his scoring? His scoring is pretty garbage. Really garbage. I could see this guy being a blocker army, where he just uses his... Oh, what is that? Orc Chief on a boar. Or on a chariot. That's not awful. I could see this being a blocker army. I think he's going to have trouble scoring. I mean, you have 30 goblins, which are probably mainly for Fanatic release, but you can't depend on them to score after that. You have a 20-man bunker of Orcs, and you have 5 Boar Riders that have a 3-up save. It's 3 really, really bad scoring that has to sit behind probably their trolls. Now, of course, getting through 16 trolls is a problem. And he has a Spider King that's no joke and shooting and pretty good magic. I mean, he's Shamanism plus, the Pyro guy casting Flaming Swords on his own unit, which is a bunch of little guys with quick to fire. As well as probably a magic missile at +2 to cast. he can put out some range damage for sure. I kind of like the list actually. I just don't like the scoring, but I don't actually know how to fix the scoring either because he put all his scoring in his core, which is fine. It's probably appropriate. It just isn't strong. I don't know if somebody can like pressure him back if it's gonna have trouble. Poland, Arthur. So I actually spoke to Arthur way before I played Orcs. Since he was one of the players that kind of got me into them because he was very good on them in the Polish team. He always seemed to do well with Orcs and score high. So when I started playing Orcs, I actually, looked up some of his old tournament lists, kind of talked to him about his style, see what he likes. And so I found that very informative. Now, he's pretty known for doing this double common goblin chariot build. And I think he used to take spiders. He sometimes doesn't take spiders. He's not much for a bunker so much. I believe I spoke to him and he said he doesn't think monsters in this meta are good or the strongest play because there's a lot of anti-monster stuff out there. I understand this. I think I wouldn't say that's 100% true because I still think with some demon armies and warriors armies, you kind of have to take big boys a lot of the time, or some. But I think it's Poland's view, and again, I'm not trying to speak for Poland. They do what they do. That they tend to always run these lists that kind of have like shooting and magic, and not too many big targets, almost points to the and they don't really hinge on like huge monsters that could die in one shot, like dragons and stuff. Even look at. We can here go through the Poland list. I haven't gone through all of them, but their Dark Elves, I don't think have any monsters. Their Empire is Conrad's Empire, which doesn't have so many big targets that isn't like the Stang. Furion's High Elves, sure, it has 2 Phoenixes and a Novagriff, but with the H spell and healing, and the Phoenix is only 300 points. They tend to thin it out, and I think part of his job is, and I played the Dark Elf list without monsters, and it is kind of refreshing not to have half your army die to div magic and cannons. And now I do think there's a middle ground in armies where having one monster or like a Hydra or something isn't the end all be all. Having to hide 400 points or try to keep 400 points safe is not a huge deal. You can do that, and your whole strategy doesn't hinge on it. When you take a BSB idol, that can be pretty fucking annoying to have to hide it. Anyway, I know he doesn't like monsters in this particular meta. So let's go through his list. So he has a Shamanism Master. We've seen this before. Skull Fetish, great. So he doesn't take Crown. He doesn't have to because he is a Orc Warlord. Okay, great. So he gets to fit in Skull Fetish, accept their power. Skull Fetish, it's one of those items that it seems to be hard to fit in sometimes. Like your points, like 75 points, I want to take something else. But man does it like in this army. He has a lot of little things that can get charges and get a point. 1 or 2. It's probably giving him, I don't know, 9 to 12 tokens over the course of a game, if not more, if he's going to go aggro. So I'm down with the Skull Fetish. So he takes this Footlore, which I've taken before. Nice, powerful combat piece. I do like. We're going to skip. He goes and takes it with Ed Bashers with paired weapons. Are paired weapons better than shield spears? I don't know, but Strength 5 paired weapons that have Strength 5 core is really nice. I took that guy with Orcs with shields, and I think what I felt was I needed more damage than just him. And I think that this unit provides more damage than just him, and I like it. And speed is nice to get it moving. He has MR4 on the unit. He's a bunker, but his bunker fights. Like, his bunker is a lot of points, but it contains, that chief is a great weapon guy. You don't want him to die, but he's through Strength 7, battle focus. His Lord does a lot of attacks. He has MR4. You're not debuffing that unit. It's not that. And that's the part is you think 30 Ed Bashers, and you can shoot 30 Ed Bashers if there's no cover and stuff, but like to magic it with like Unity and stuff, which isn't the greatest spell against them, but can do some work. He's a 5 of his. Like, it's just MR4 is just nice on that unit because you just have to get there, and you don't need 30 guys to make it to like do some damage with that unit. I also like that it kind of keeps the leadership 9 forward, even though he has trolls. So he took Cave Trolls, so 2 of his big units are MR. He takes the Common Goblin, or the Cave Goblins with Relentless and 3 Fanatics. I like that. He didn't take... He actually... No, he's just at Min... Just at Min Core. That's actually a pretty cool Min Core build. I'll give him that. Oh, I didn't even go back to the 2 other characters. He has 2 mages on chariots. Adepts. 240 point adept chariots. He has 8 spells. I mean, he has pretty good variety in spells. He can take magic missiles. He can take Raven's Wing, which is really nice. I mean, just having access to Raven's Wing with that 45-man Goblin unit or any of this stuff is really nice. Plus, maybe no shoot. He can put them in the Goblin with chariots if he feels like they're going to get shut up, or they can just be annoying by themselves. Again, like, he can hide them behind the other chariots if he really needs to. I actually really do like this list, and I think part of it is jaded because I know he is a good player, but I do actually like this list a lot on paper. Like, he has the trolls, but he has a unit that can walk next to him. Like, he has enough shooting and range, but he fights. He has 3 scoring, but unlike the other army that had 3 scoring, 6 mounted Ed Bashers. I actually like this unit. I've talked about it before. It's a 2-up save. It's 6 guys. He didn't take lances on them. That's fine. They're just for scoring, but they have a 2-up save. I think that is pretty good, especially because your other 2 scoring is 1 at 45-man Goblin unit with 3 Fanatics and a 30-man Ed Basher unit. Like, your scoring is not a bunker. It's units that can push forward, and this army can push forward. He has a chaff unit. He has 3 catapults, cheap, sit in the back. You don't really have to protect them. Just fucking shoot people. Maybe they hit, maybe they don't. And then a scrap wagon. I actually have started coming around on the random movers, especially in Orcs. I think in one of my videos I talked about how in isolation you're like, oh, it's 4 wounds, toughness 4, it just dies. But if you play it smart, first off, 80 points for 4 wounds, toughness 4 is not that bad. And it's like, if it gets a charge off, like people, like, most magic missiles don't kill in one shot. Most people don't have time to magic missile your stupid ass scrap wagon, or they don't want to. There's bigger fish to fry in this army than worrying about the scrap. It's one of those things that you kind of have to kill it, but at the same time, you don't really have time to waste resources on killing it. Does that make sense? I think that it's like Manglers. I'm actually a little bit coming around on Manglers. Some armies just kill them. But like some Warriors armies, like, they have to either magic missile them or they step on them with a chaff, but you're trading chaff for your Mangler, which is usually about a fair trade. It is. It's like normally 100 some points for 135. I mean, Scrap Wagon, again, I like it. I'm sure he had 80 points. I don't know what else he would spend it on in this particular list. I mean, it's a points denial list too, right? Like, he has, I mean, the trolls, his bunker. I mean, look at just, I guess I can click. I mean, look at this. That is 1,700 points plus the 3 characters that go in at 11, 12. I mean, you're talking over half his armies in 3 units. And then he has a bunch of support that can still do damage and still do things. And you could, at the end of the game, just have these 3 things left with your characters. And he would probably, you might, if you don't win scenario, he doesn't kill anything, you're still only getting, I mean, in that case, you're getting probably a 15, but you know what I mean. Those other things are going to do damage, but he can still hold his points. He's not risking a ton. This is one build where trolls can be a little bit more aggressive. One thing I do kind of like is leadership-wise. I mean, there could be some issues depending on where your characters are, and you have to be careful about panic, but you really have to care about 3 units for leadership. It's the trolls, the cave goblins, and the orcs. But since your BSB and your lord are pressing forward, you don't have that. Like, a lot of times what happens is, you have your bunker back here and your units are up here, and you have this range to deal with. But now when your general's here, your units have a lot more range to do stuff. I like this list a lot. I tried something like it back in the day, and I was crap with it, but it was a while ago. Anyway, sorry, I spent a long time on that because I know he's a good player. This is Pierre's a good player too. So Pierre's been running this Iron Orc Nasher spam shit for a while now with the Double Master. So he took the Double Master, which I like. Never complaining about Double Master. He did only go Leadership 8, so he's like, fuck it, we're Leadership 8 today, boys. But he's taking more monsters now. He used to always have 2 idols, but he never took the Goblin King, and it looks like he's removed some of his spam to put in the Goblin King, which I think is fair. I think it's a pretty strong piece. I don't know why he doesn't have MR on it. Maybe he doesn't care, and sometimes I can see that as well. He didn't spam as many Iron Orcs this time. Only 1 unit. He still is taking the multiple Feral Orcs. I mean, this list has been very similar to what he's taken in the past, so no shooting, but I don't think he likes the catapults. I think it's unreliable, and I can understand that. I mean, it's a lot of little bodies to get through, and these bodies do damage while they go down. Yeah. I mean, he's been playing it for a while, so I have to assume that he's kind of likes this build for some reason now. It's not as safe of a build, right? Let's just be fair. It's not. This is a more safe build, and I think orcs fill different roles. To be honest, I think there's roles where they are more of the scorers. I think there's roles where they are more defensive. I think, what pairings do you want? What pairings don't you want? And there's probably a nice and play style, right? They have so many play styles that I think personal play style factors in heavily with orcs. You've all heard about what I like to play and how I like to play. It's just all different. So I don't know. I don't know if that really helped me say anything other than he's been doing this for a while. He's a good player. It should work. I like the double master setup. I think it's the first double master setup we've seen. So here's a weird list. So a witchcraft adept, shamanism master on a boar, 2 boar chariots, 11 goblin chariots. Okay, he's like max chariots, BSB idol, raiders. Scoring is 3 boar units, 2 of which you suck. I mean, that's a lot of impact hits. That is not fun for some people to play against. I don't know. I don't have a good sense of this. This is actually kind of an interesting. A shamanism pair weapons guy. So he's a 2+5+, which is pretty nice. Oh no, he's a common orc. Okay. All those guys are common. Okay, I thought he might be. That'd be cool if he was a feral orc and you try to make him fighty because he'd have 4 strength 5. Too bad he doesn't get the +1 strength for Born to Fight since he's strength 5 base. That is one. I don't know if he knows this, but you don't get it because you're only strength 5. It's not like you're strength 5 +1 on Hero's Heart. It's just it's at least 5. So if you're 4 or 5 base, then you get it anyway. But with the shamanism attribute's pretty good. I guess he needs this for the agility shit. I actually don't think it's that good of a list. I think it'll give people trouble just because I think it might have panic trouble. There's my commentary. Where's this BSB? Oh, it's the idol. Nice. It still could have panic trouble. This is a big ass board to have this many units on, and it could be trouble with leadership. Slovenia. Orc Master. Iron Orc on foot. I don't like this build. Oh, does he have a big Iron Orc unit? He has 2 Iron Orc units. I don't see why he has this unit. Is one of his guys melted? This seems stupid. Why does he have this? So I don't I always say this. I don't dislike. I don't get why he has this unit. He has 5 scoring. I mean, I guess for some scenarios it's nice to be on the flanks, but it's like, why would you pay 250 points for? Why is this? I don't know. That's weird. I mean, I guess I can see why. Solid shooting, 1 mage, super blocky. It's no chaff. I'm just gonna pass on this unit. This is 4 units and some shooting. It might be hard to break through, but I doubt it's gonna do that well. Harambe. Oh yeah, he's another really good player, and he scored really high at the Spanish qualifiers. and I've spoke to him as well. He follows. So it seems like very common in some of the top players, and it's probably it actually goes back and forth with Orcs. It doesn't seem as there's players who just straight up don't want monsters because they don't want to get killed by them. They don't want to be targeted. And there's people who love them because they're like, fuck it, they're strong. So let's look at his real quick. So he has a Thom Master. He has the Crown of Cavern King. He has a Adept Witchcraft. He has this guy, which we all like. This is a pretty cool little guy. Just 180 points flying guy. ITP, Dragon Staff. Probably nice. You can fly 12 inches, and then either for your own breath weapon or the Dragon Staff breath weapon. Killer Chaff. He actually can charge things. And then he's a Strength 6 impact hit, 3 Strength 6 from the Rider, 3 Strength 6 from the Mount. And the Dragon Staff can actually do some damage to things. So cute little hero setup. Relentless Goblins. Orc Bunker. Orc Crossbows. I actually I've seen this being used a lot more lately, this Orc Crossbows type stuff. I kind of dig it. If you have enough space on the board, you can kind of put them on the in the center on the side, and they're just annoying because they're 20 shots, strength 4. They're still strength 4 when you fight them. They have heavy armor and shields. They're a 4-up save when you eventually get there. So the range 30 is nice. They can thin elves from a distance. He has shooting back here. His magic is pretty range damage based. The Witchcraft can stop shooting / the weapon skill agility spells can be nice for trolls and gnashers. His scoring is 10 mounted guys and 2-3 scoring. So like with Witchcraft, this unit can put out a lot of damage because you're always the threat of the -2 agility, and maybe they go first and they smash you with their. Well, they don't even have. I wish they had paired weapons, but it doesn't matter that much. And he has no. He doesn't really want to face. I mean, cannons can always, attack this Goblin King, but it's not the end of the world. You can hide one guy if you need to. Nothing else is really bad against cannons. I see a lot of people take Cave Trolls. It seems like 2 good players like Cave Trolls over Bridge Trolls, which is just fair. 4-up Slave and MR really helps versus a lot of things. It has a little bit of everything. I like that. It's probably not easy to play, obviously. But I kind of like this list. It's cute. I think this and the Polish list I know are good players, and I like the list. It's just always hard for me not to take monsters. And so if I was going to play a list like this, I would just straight up have to copy theirs to start. I do kind of like the one random board Chariot. I think it's nice for zoning and stuff. And the same with the Polish list where, he has 2 Wolf Chariots, which are a lot of impact hits. He could make it a 4-man unit if he wanted, which has a lot of impact hits. So I like this list as well. I'm curious to see how they do. Andy Geyser. So he doesn't really play Orcs. He normally plays High Elves or Dark Elves or something. I actually played him in my first ETC ever, though I didn't know who he was at the time. So he takes, it's always this Shieldbreaker build, which I think is the best build for him. Shaman is a Master. Okay, so he takes the Thom Master too. I like this. I like this character setup, and I actually don't think it's easy to fit a BSB. I don't think you can. I think it's way too many points. Yeah, I don't remember how many points Orcs get. I think I get 1,800. So that's 11. And he's at like 16. He maybe can get a cheap BSB. But anyway, no frills, double binding, double level 4, a nice hero. People are playing Ed Bashers now. It has to be that people have just seen the light. I know Durand from Norway has been playing it recently and doing well, but also at the ETC, the last ETC that actually happened, Vince from France was playing them. I guess, they're expensive. You can't get as many bodies, but they're strength 5 core. I mean, this is Strength 5 AP3 core. If you do the pair weapons version, it's Strength 5 AP2, many attacks core. Like, it's just a lot of attacks. And there's enough targets in this army that, like, you can't just... Like, you can thin out this unit, but there's always something else, right? This army is... 3 Shady gets this is another unit that actually has been getting a little bit of play recently with the Legion Standard. I actually hated it in the beginning, and I realized that, one, you always have 4... Okay, so you're 30 wide, so you actually have 6 ranks to start. You get 4 rank bonus. If there's a character, you get 4 champion challenges, and you win every time because you have a banner and 4 ranks, so 5. He can never win the fight. If he charges, he can only tie. So it actually can hold people for a long time and be kind of annoying for 230. So I actually like this little unit as a cheap scoring unit. He only has 1 character that needs, it's a bunker for his general and his 1 mage. His idol is one of his... if you play Div, I mean, he has double binding scroll for that too. So I can't even hate on it that much. I mean, sometimes you like to see the shooting to go with the double magic, but like, he's dropping comments, he's dropping the other one, Totemic Summons. He's coming at you, not super fast, but I mean, 3 monsters. He has 5 scoring units, and 2 of them are pretty legit Iron Orc units, which I know Thomas hates, but I kind of start digging them. 4 chariots to be annoying. Like, I like this list. I think it's actually scary to play against it. I think orcs in general are scary to play against. It makes me miss them a little bit, to be honest. You never know. Maybe I'll go back. And the last one. Little Cow. Little Cow plays in a lot of my events. Let's see if he's taking his normal Pyro Master, Pyro Adept with Mama Zapping Bow. Okay, so another Orc Shamanism guy, fair. Gargantula, yep, Helo's taking him too. I think he's done in the past, has done Hero's Heart, but he's gone to Shieldbreaker. He takes a Dragon Staff, like I said. I've seen some people do. So he does Essence of a Free Mind. I don't know if I love it, but I don't hate it. I've seen a good Italian player do it too. It kind of is interesting. If you need the Magic Missile and maybe Flaming Swords, because he does take Mama Zapping Bow. See, he takes this, it's Force Goblin, he gets the poison. I like that he does that. I guess he just takes 20 Orc Bows. I mean, it's still, like I said, for the shots, if you're not going to go, the 18-inch banner, it's 3 strength, 4 shots with poison for 50 points, and you remove the fire. Like, it's pretty nice anyway. I can see this being kind of cute if you want the magic missiles, or if you need witchcraft and you want to, having the option for 35 points seems very versatile. He's one of the only people that takes huge Force Goblin units with spears, trolls, 1 idol. Yeah, I mean, I've seen him play this kind of stuff before. He has a bunch of shooting, some Nashers. It's the stuff he's been running recently. It's a pretty solid list, pretty annoying. I mean, orcs are very annoying to run into. I feel like when I was playing orcs, I saw the power and also the power, the unpower that lied beneath it because of the fear of panic checks and stuff. And since I haven't played them for a while, I come at it from a view of like an opponent of orcs. Sometimes I'm like, oh, this seems scary. And then maybe you say, well, these are 3 big units and trolls, and he kind of needs his leadership for all of them. I do think it's not as threatening as maybe it can seem on paper. But a lot of these orcs are pretty solid. I actually like the variety in my favorite ones, which are this one, the 3 probably the best players who are playing them. Andy, Switzerland, Spain, and Poland, which are all very good teams as well. This guy's French. He's playing for Russia. It's actually, people are going to complain about, there are some similar units that are being played. A lot of people have the same Spider Hero build. A lot of people, splatters are more common than the other things, and trolls, blah, 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 blah. But I think given the book, I think there's a pretty good variety, not just of, I'll even say this, maybe the lists themselves aren't the choices. There's only a couple weird things, like maybe there's only 1 scrap wagon or only no manglers or something like that. But I think the styles people are bringing are different enough, and I think it's kind of cool. I think how, I just like them. Like, as much as I was talking about how not having a cannon target is nice, I can go and say, oh, look, this has a lot of targets and it's not easy to get through. There's a lot of shit fights in this army. Or, I really like this army because it has 8 spells, but it's not 2 masters, and he kind of, instead of having another Thom master, he says, for 470 points, which is what a lot of people pay for their second master. I mean, this has 2 binding scrolls, but we'll just use it, right? He gets 2 chariot guys and 4 spells, and he puts them with wolves, and sometimes that's a unit that goes in and does 46 strength 4 impact hits. 46 strength 5, sorry. 46 plus 4 strength 5. And he has good buffs for it. He can do flaming swords, or he can do +1 strength from shamanism, right? Those are all really good spells to cast on them. So, I can see from different pairings where it could be really annoying to play against this. Maybe if you pair right for some of these lists, they do really good. And if you don't care and you want to be more of an all-around player, like you just want to deal with... just throw me out there and I'll be decent versus everything, or don't care about cannons, and you take maybe a list like this, where, versus cannons, we talked about this already, but no cannon targets maybe the Goblin, Huntsman, Spider. He still has Vanguarding Mad Gits, which is cool. He takes a Shamanism Master, actually, which I used to take, but I didn't take it as an Orc, so now he gets the 2-for-1 of Leadership 9 and Thom Master. Sorry, I meant to say Thom. And he has a Witchcraft Death. So if you're facing a shooting army, you can be casting Twisted Effigy. You can be casting Comets. You still have that range damage, and with a couple extra spells, because I bitched about taking solo Thom, I thought it was really annoying. So I don't have enough spells. But, I kind of dig these Orc lists. It makes me miss Orcs a bit. I'm not going to lie. Like, this list is something I legitimately would like to try, because I never fully tried something. I tried one list. It wasn't like this, because when I played it, I played one list like this, actually very similar, but I was bad. It was like one of my early Orc games. I don't know how early, but it was a super early Orc game, and I just wasn't good. Actually, I can look on the side real quick. Over here. I have my game logs, but I'm not going to show everybody. Let me just... Yeah, it was like my 10th Orc game I ran this style of list against Travis, and I got like a 9. No, I got 9. But he was playing High Elves. Yeah. I said it was too static for me, but it was a long ago. But anyway, I ran this kind of style way back. But I like it. Anyway, I'm really curious to see how Orcs do. I'm glad they're very well represented. I'm glad there's a lot of styles going out there. It's not just everyone's taking Double Idol or this or that. And yeah, there's some common builds, and a lot of people run the same big spider build, but it's kind of like it kind of builds itself. Like, you have a poison strength 4 guy. Why not take Shieldbreaker? Like, the only other good choice on that guy is Hero's Heart, and it's more points. Like, Shieldbreaker just feels so natural because he deals with the 1-up save heroes, and why do you need Hero's Heart? Your whole fucking spider is strength 5 attacks. Like, you kind of deal with that on its own. Like, just take and if you poison, you don't give a fuck. It's better. So to me, it's the obvious build, but that's fine. You're allowed to have an obvious build when there's only so many things you can choose on a giant fucking spider guy. There's a couple, I like that there's some fanatic units, there's some non-fanatic units, there's a lot more Ed Bashers. In fact, you don't really see too many big normal Orc units as far as like bunkers go. They're either little bunkers or like little units like this, or they're the big Ed Basher units, which I think the fightingness, people are realizing, like, I need to fight. Like, I can't just rely on my ranks anymore. I need something that's scary to fight. And honestly, these fucking Ed Bashers are scary to fight. They are feral. Are they all feral? These are common. His are common Orcs. So he's going to have to take Frenzy anyway, but his guys are common Orcs. This is probably a points thing, and I think that's fair, to be completely honest with you. But, I mean, it just pumps out. Like, he's probably getting an extra 3 characters in the front, depending on how wide he is. 1, 2, 3. He's offense 5. He's probably an extra 10 to 10 to 15 extra strength 5 attacks, which is just can tip your balance sometimes when you have this. It's just nice, and you can run it wide if you need to. Was the other guys? Who else had them? His are okay. Both take common. I think it's the points that keep. I think Feral is just too expensive on Ed Bashers. You might as well just go common and fight your way with just normal attacks. You don't really, and you have shamanism to get battle focus if you really need it. Honestly, that's another reason too. You can always just cast frenzy on yourself. Anyway, I'm done talking about orcs. I'm excited to see how they do, and those are my thoughts. Thanks for listening.